Course 2, Lesson 9, adding, subtracting, and multiplying fractions. And then we're going to talk about reciprocals. Our objectives are going to be to add and subtract fractions with the same denominator, and we're going to add and subtract mixed numbers with the same denominator. We're going to multiply fractions and find the reciprocal numbers, and we're going to solve equations using the property that the product of a number multiplied by its reciprocal equals 1. These are your 4 vocabulary words. Please print them out, pull them up, learn them, understand what they mean. They're very important. Don't skip over this part of each lesson. On the line below, AB is 1/3 inch and BC is 1/4 inch. We can find AC by measuring or by adding the 1 3/8 and the 1 4/8. Well, how do we do that? How do we add these two fractions? When adding fractions that have the same denominators, we add the numerators. So in this case here, the 3 and the 4. And then we write that over the common denominator, which in this case happens to be 8. So we end up with 7/8. And then we add the 1 and the 1 together, and that gives us the 2 7/8 inches. Another thing that you can do is you can use what's called the butterfly method when you don't have common denominators. And we'll practice this in class, but I just want to show it to you just briefly so you could see it. It's kind of handy for when you're just adding two fractions together. So in this example, we have 3/4 plus 2/5. What you're going to do is you're going to create this butterfly, right? So you're going to take 3 times 5, that equals 15, 4 times 2, and that equals 8. Then you're going to come down here and you're going to multiply the two denominators together and come up with 20. So now you got 15 plus the 8 equals 23. Your two denominators equal 20. You put that over that. 20 goes in 23 one time with 3/20 left over. So our answer is 1 3/20. Just another way of doing it. I kind of like it. It's kind of fast. It's easy with 2. And then when you subtract, you do the same thing, but you're going to subtract instead of add. So 15 minus 8 is 7 over a common denominator 20. We have our answer 7/20. We'll practice this a little bit if you're interested in it. If not, do it your way. However you do it is fine with me. I just wanted to show you another alternative. So find each sum. Go ahead and work these two examples, and then we'll go over them together. In number 1, our common denominator is going to be 7. And then we're just going to add our numerators together. 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 3 is 6. So A should be 6/7. Here we're going to add our two 1s together. That's going to be 2. Put them over the 3. Add our two 33s together, get 66. We should get 66 2/3. Let's see if that's what we get. And that is right. I love it when we do it correct. How much money is 1/4 of a dollar plus 3/4 of a dollar? Well, it's $1. Because when we put them over the common denominator of 4, 1 plus 3 makes it 4 over 4. 4 over 4 equals 1. We get $1. To subtract fractions from a fraction with the same denominator, we just write the difference. So go ahead and work both of these just like we did the addition, but subtract instead. Let's see how we do. In the first example, we're going to take the 3 minus the 1 and come up with a 2. 5 minus the 1, come up with a 4. Put it over the common denominator of 9. We get 2 4/9. In example B, 3 minus 3 is 0 over the 5. 0 over 5 equals 0. In this illustration on the right, you have 1/2 right here, and here you have 1/2 of a half. When they say of, so in the second illustration, 1/2 of 1/2 of a circle, of in math equals times. So anytime you see 1/2 of 1/2, that means 1/2 times 1/2, which would equal 1/4. And as we can see up here, 1/2 of 1/2 is 1/4. Anytime we multiply two fractions that are less than 1, our answer is always going to be smaller than either one of these. So find the product of 1/2 of 1/3. Remember, of means times. And B, go ahead and multiply those together. In A, you should have came up with 1/6 because we take 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 3 is 6. When we add, we get a common denominator. When we multiply, we don't. We just multiply straight across. So in this example B, 2 times 4 is 8. 8 times 5 is 40. 1 times 3 is 3. Times 1 is 3. So 3/40 is our answer. Now we come to division. Whenever we divide, we need to know what reciprocal means. So example 5 says we're just going to find the reciprocal of these numbers, because we cannot, in order to divide, we can't divide a fraction. We have to multiply a fraction. So what is reciprocal means, if you looked at your vocabulary, it means what does it take to make 3/5 equal 1? What do we need to multiply that by to equal 1? Well, we need to do just the opposite. So 3/5 times 5/3 equals 15/15, which equals 1. So our reciprocal of 3/5 is 5/3. Now take a look at B. B, you just got to put that into a fraction, then it becomes easy, doesn't it? Go ahead and solve B, see if you get the right answer. So in 1 we get 5/3, and in B we know that 3/1, the reciprocal of that would be 1/3. Times those together we get 3/3, which equals 1. You see that right there. That's reciprocals. You need to, or to invert. If you invert these two numbers, you get 5/3. Not 8/3, but 5/3. Find the missing number. 3/4 n equals 1. Well, based on what you know about reciprocals, what does n have to equal? What would 3/4 times what have to be to equal 1? Well, it would be 4/3, because we know that in order for 3/4 n to equal 1, n would have to be 4/3, because 1 is equal to 12/12. In example 7, how many 3/4 are in 1? See if you can do that one on your own. The answer is the reciprocal of 3/4, which is 4/3. 3/4 times 4/3 equals 1. So how many 3/4 are in 1? 4/3. See if you can do these. I'll go through and show you the answers. See if you can come up with them. On A, we're going to use to get a common denominator because it's addition. So we know that the denominator is going to be 6. And 6/6, because 5 plus 1 is 6, is 1. We're here on B. We know that our denominator is going to be 5. 4 minus 3 is 1. So 1/5 should be our answer. On C, now we're multiplying, so we don't have a common denominator. So 5 times 2 is 10, times 4 is 40. 3 times 1 is 3, times 3 is 9. 9/40. Can we reduce that? We're at 9/40. Over here, we're doing addition, so what's going to be our denominator? Go ahead and work that one out on your own. What did you come up with? Did you get the right answer? Did you get 8/3? And that converts to, or did you get 2 2/3? Both those would be correct answers. Go ahead and work on E and F. E, 7 times 3 is 21, and 4 times 2 is 8, so it'll be 8/21. And in F, common denominator is 8. 5 minus 5 is 0. 0 over anything is 0. There are your tickets in the door. Work those tonight, submit them to me, and we'll see you tomorrow in class.